Chapter 54 The Rare Lightning Mage. The rate of his cultivation was still not fast enough. Even if Mo Fan had twice as much cultivation time as other people, as well as the 20% buff from the Stardust magic tool, the time would still have to be split between his two concubines, Stardusts. Thus, he would only be slightly faster than that fool, Mu Bai. If he didn't want to easily expose the ability of his lightning element in front of others, he wouldn't be able to rely on that small advantage to play against the ancient Mu family and their cash players. The question is, how would he be able to maximize the increase of his strength? As he decided to Baidu the answer, all it said was, buy a Stardust magic tool. This answer was essentially too stupid. Let's not bullshit, the Stardust magic tool was naturally the best tool to increase his cultivation. The question was whether the Stardust magic tool was something a person could buy? However, from Mo Fan's point of view, other than the Stardust magic tool, there were no other good methods. What if I were to upgrade the little loach pendant to spirit rank, just like the one Mu Ningzhu is wearing? A common ranked Stardust magic tool is only able to increase cultivation by 20%. If I were to upgrade it to a spirit rank, then it would be a 40% increase. This way, even if I were to practice both the lightning and fire element, then I'd still be much quicker than most people. Mu Ningzhu's starting point was higher than mine by too much. Since she was able to get recruited by the Empire early on, that itself would testify that her strength exceeds mine, and most likely has reached the requirement of universities. If I still slowly cultivate like this, then I would get shaken to death by the ancient Mu family sooner or later. Mo Fan didn't regret making this kind of enemy. He was only able to exhaust all his options to increase his strength due to the enemy's oppression. Presently, the only thing that could increase his strength faster seemed to be a Stardust magic tool. Mrs. Tang Yue has mentioned this before. The little loach pendant could be upgraded by absorbing the spirits of magical beasts after they died. This meant that he would need to go out and slay magical beasts. If his luck was good, then a spirit would really show up. Then his little loach pendant could really be upgraded to spirit rank. The 40% cultivation addition for a mage like Mo Fan, whose cultivation speed was already twice as fast as others, was simply riding a rocket. It seems like this is the only way. Since he had made a decision, then he should brazenly do it. The heavens had given himself this advantage. If he were to neglect it, then it'd be good for nothing. After the practicals, there still remained about a month of summer vacation. Mo Fan walked down to the hall of the Hunters Union without hesitation. The Hunters Union was an organization formed by wandering hunter squadrons. There were tens of thousands of hunter mages who came to the hall of the Hunters Union to search for missions that were suitable for themselves. Mo Fan had already gone through them. A spirit essence's price on the market exceeded 5 million RMB. Searching for magical beasts was the only path Mo Fan could choose to obtain wealth. If he really could gather these 5 million RMB first was hard to say. At least the soul remnants and soul essence were something you could only obtain through killing a magical beast. This was the only path he could choose now. Killing a magical beast by himself? Mo Fan immediately shook his head to reject the idea. He simply did not possess the ability to kill a magical beast by himself. Thus, he now needed to look for a hunter squad that was suitable for him. Practically all of the mages in Hunters Union formed their own little squads. Those who were able to kill a magical beast single-handedly were far too few. The Hall of Hunters. The people came and went. It felt like a large hall of spirals, while at the same time, like a job fair. On the wall of the Hall of Hunters was a colossal LCD screen. It announced the newest missions, as well as the rewards of the missions. The lowest reward was 100 KRMB, and the higher reward missions could go up to millions. Mo Fan looked at the million-level missions, his saliva almost flowing down his mouth. Completing 5 of those kinds of missions, and he would be able to buy a soul essence to upgrade his little loach pendant by a level. Unfortunately, that wasn't something a normal person could do. Iron Hammer Squad is looking for ice elemental mages. Required battle experience is 3 years and above. Have the desire to cooperate in a team. The most important thing is to have an adept control of the ice spell. The mission has already been received. Average reward is 20 KRMB, estimated 2 months completion. Wind Element Mages. The squad lacks an experienced wind magician who can lure in one-eyed magic wolf. Other elements are not needed. Fire Element. Where are the fire mages? Join our fierce wind squad. Guaranteed to efficiently complete missions and get wealthy. Mo Fan swept a glance over to the side, and he discovered that those magicians who had joined squads before had actually brought resumes. On the resume was distinct proof of their time in other squads, how many missions they'd completed, and the levels of the missions. Mo Fan was dazzled by this scene. For a moment, he just had no idea on how to pick. It seemed like the magicians who had just graduated were those no one wanted. After all, they had far too little experience with magical beasts. One small mistake and they'd lose their life. Who would dare to have mages who just graduated? Whereas Mo Fan hadn't even graduated. He was a student who had just entered his second year of high school. Bringing a magic student was simply a nuisance, and essentially defrauding his squad mates. He could tell that it would be very hard to find a suitable squad from his time in practicals. Sheet, being a mage actually needs qualifications, this particular year. Mo Fan couldn't help but curse. As Mo Fan finished cursing, a man hurriedly ran past Mo Fan and bumped into Mo Fan while cursing even more. I'm sorry. The City Hunters team is currently recruiting. I have to go and give it a try. Excuse me for bumping into you, a weak youth wearing thick glasses said to Mo Fan. City Hunters team? Mo Fan asked suspiciously. Yeah, don't you know? They're specialized in sweeping dangers within the city. They're a group who kills magical beasts that are hiding within the city. The City Hunters team has always been the first choice of hunter mages. After all, they are hunters who can stay within the city. Who likes to run around the desolate areas and fight against unknown creatures? Not to mention, the City Hunters team's rewards have always been really high. The youth in glasses pushed his glasses up as he spoke. Tong Yuban, you should stop wasting your time. A mage like you who just graduated from a magic high school doesn't have experience nor the strength. There's no way the City Hunters team would notice you, unless you're a lightning mage, an old hunter to the side ridiculed him. They're looking for lightning mages? Mo Fan's eyes beamed as he asked hastily. The City Hunters team, they moved within the city. This is something very suitable for Mo Fan, who was still studying in school. If he were to go to the outside, then he wouldn't know how long it would take him to finish a mission. Lightning mages have always been in demand for squads. Even the lightning mages who have no experience whatsoever will be happily accepted into a squad. After all, the lightning mages are far too few, their skills are just simply tyrannical. Sigh, if I were to awaken a lightning element, then I wouldn't have to be ridiculed by those veterans every day, that old hunter said. Chapter 55 City Hunter Team. Oh, Mo Fan rejoiced covertly. So it turned out that lightning mages were very popular within the Hunters Union. You couldn't blame them, however. There was only one lightning mage per 1,000, and additionally, the lightning spell's power was not inferior to the fire element. Plus, it carried a paralysis effect. With the lightning mage suppressing the magical beasts, the speed it took for the squadron to circle the magical beasts would be reduced by a large margin. Good. He had found a method that would allow him to make money, as well as increase his combat prowess. However, in order to not expose my innate double element, I should still do a disguise. On one hand, it's so people won't recognize me. On the other hand, I would look more mature. I'm still too much of a high schooler. After Mo Fan made his decision, he quickly found a black crayon. Changing his appearance wasn't hard. Mo Fan just needed to dye his face darker and then put on a long, gray hoodie. As long as he put on the hoodie and showed the distinct jawline of his face, his entire temperament would be entirely different. He found the City Hunters team and saw the long queue standing outside. He couldn't help but sob a bit. Sheet, this even overtakes the registration for the exams for officers. Let's just line up, that's all I can do. Let's just do the interview first and then go past stage 2 of it. It seems like the interviewer is a sweet and beautiful woman. They're all trash. Do these morons think the City Hunters team, is a job where we just sit on our butts and eat the benefits of the state? A tall and sturdy man who still had gauze wrapped around his head snarled behind the recruitment counter. Captain, don't be anxious. There's a lot of people applying. There will be a good one, said a man who was wearing a fashionable flower cap. Actually, this one isn't bad. He has mastered the second-level wind trail, flash steps. It can be used to track and lure magical beasts, a delicate-looking girl said as she stood behind the sturdy and tall man. As long as we have me as the wind element, do we still need anyone else? Spoke up a wind mage with long hair, graceful in his white shirt. These are all just considerations. I still haven't seen anyone I'm completely satisfied with yet, the gauzed-up captain said. In that case, how about Ah Cheng? This fella is quite clever. The truth is, the really amazing mages actually have their own fixed squads. They rarely wander over here. In my point of view, we should just choose Ah Cheng. His fire abilities should be sufficient enough against a magical beast, the graceful, long-haired wind mage spoke up. The captain helplessly shook his head. It seems like this is the only way. As he finished saying this, that sweet-looking recruitment girl hastily ran over, her face ramming directly into the captain's chest. Ah, I'm sorry. The recruitment girl's cheek was red as she hastily apologized. There's a lightning mage applying to join our city hunters team. Are you for real? The tall and sturdy captain seemed more energized, his eyes beamed as he looked in the direction of the long recruitment line. The other squadmates' eyes also sparkled. Lightning mage. Their city hunter team was indeed more popular relative to other squads. However, that didn't signify that lightning mages were willing to enlist. In the past, lightning mages had always been guests amongst the hunter squads. Some of the more elite squads wouldn't mind taking in a completely newbie lightning mage. You could definitely cultivate newbies. However, a 1 in 1,000 lightning mage was extremely hard to find even if you were to turn on a lantern. Too many lightning mages had already been reserved. Additionally, they were very easy to absorb into a large ancient family or organizations. The possibility of finding a wild lightning mage was just far too small. Is that him? The sturdy captain was a little impatient. He directly walked out from the back. Yes, Captain. Are you going to personally interview him? The recruitment girl stuttered. Interview? What's there to interview? The sturdy captain turned around as he looked puzzled. The recruitment girl, as well as the other teammates, were puzzled. If the captain wasn't going to personally interview him, then why did he run over there? At this moment, you could see the captain walking to the recruitment desk. He looked at Mo Fan, whose face seemed somewhat dark, before he asked, "You're a lightning mage?" Mo Fan glanced at this tall, sturdy, and ferocious man as he slowly raised his hand. In a split second, an electric arc passed between his fingers before it formed what seemed to be a bug, buzzed as it fell onto the table, before burning a small hole in the tablecloth. The sturdy captain's face bloomed. He nodded his head excitedly. You guys no longer need to line up. We have found our person. The sturdy captain was also domineering. He directly looked toward the long line and shouted this out. As he shouted this, the long line was not very happy. Sheet, why? We still haven't gone through an interview yet? Yeah, I'm really strong. I can cast a spell in less than 4 seconds. Are you for real? There are even magicians going through the back door in recruiting? This world is just too unfair. I don't want to be in the desolate areas. The group of people began voicing their complaints. They had expectations for this position. If any of you is also a lightning mage, then this captain will break the rules and recruit you, shouted the sturdy captain, maintaining his unreasonable attitude. As everyone heard this, they were stunned. Sheet, lightning? Are you for real? A lightning elementalist would run here and steal our livelihood. How do we even survive now? A lightning elementalist. What's there to interview about? Let's just go somewhere else. As soon as they heard, lightning element, everyone was like a defeated chicken as they dangled their heads. There's nothing they could do about it. The lightning element was the head of the basic elements. It had an incomparable advantage. These people no longer had any desire to compete. Mo Fan turned around and saw that this long line immediately disperse. He was a little shocked. Even in school, he knew that the lightning element had a particular importance attached to it. However, he never thought that the lightning element would possess such a suppressing force within the society of mages. It makes sense when he thought about it. When he was facing the spirit wolf, the truly decisive spell was indeed the lightning element's lightning strike. Not only was it able to injure the magical beast, it was also able to paralyze its muscles. Come, little brother. Welcome to our city hunter team. Let me introduce you to our members. Oh, let me first introduce myself. I am the captain of the city hunter team, Shu Dahuang, a fire mage. The sturdy captain introduced himself. Hello, my name is Xiaoke. I am a water mage. The delicate-looking girl sweetly smiled. Li Wenji, wind element, the handsome youth said confidently, as he flung his graceful hair back. Call me Fei Shi. I am an earth elementalist. the round-faced man with the flower hat said as he smiled widely. Mo Fan looked at these magicians, who were definitely a few years older than him. He was a bit stunned before he finally introduced himself. I am Fan Mo. Fan Mo, from your blank resume, I can tell that you're a newbie who hasn't even met a genuine magical beast. Thus, I want to remind you of one thing. Don't think you're amazing just because you're a lightning mage. Be careful of your own life, said a rather beautiful girl. Mo Fan glanced at this woman. He felt that she was somewhat familiar. Oh, this is my vice captain, Kai Tang, Ice Element. Captain Shu Dahuang explained with a smile. Kai Tang? Sheet, it's that girl. Mo Fan finally recognized this person. This Kai Tang was related to the Mu family. This girl kept up a princess-like appearance every day, and was hard to interact with. Sheet, how come I meet people from the Mu family all the time? It seems like I need to quickly enter a good university and leave this city.